Adventures of Sabrina is going to be hitting Netflix very soon, but we're here at New York Comic Con to talk about the show. How you guys doing today?
Good. Feeling good.
I'm really excited about this show, mainly because a lot of fans out there, especially in the comics, knew Sabrina from the comics originally. And now we're going back to that instead of what I think the early 90s when we had that show. Talk to me about the changes that are expected that we're going to see on this Netflix version.
Yeah, this show is way dark and way fun at the same time. And if people are fans of the more recent Chilling Adventures of Sabrina comics, they're going to kind of get the vibe of the tone a little more, but at the same time it takes the darkness of the most recent iteration of the comics and it blends it with so much funny at the same time.
Right.
And it just makes for such a wild ride because it's just like an onion peel of different sort of tones and layers and it just all works at the end of the day.
So guys, why don't you guys chat me up on each character you play and what part she plays in Sabrina's life, obviously.
Oh. I play Hilda, her Aunt Hilda. I love my Sabrina, and I'm nurturing and motherly, and but still I kind of enjoy her rebellious side, and I'm not quite as I'm slightly not so much encouraging her to not do the things that she's meant to be doing according to the Dark Lord, but at the same time I'm not forcing her to do anything either. I've got a little bit of a foot in the mortal world as well as witch world.
Awesome.
I'm playing the other Aunt Zelda, and she's more kind of strict and domineering and very determined that Sabrina will become a fully fledged witch and sign her name in the Book of the Beast. I can be a bit of a beast sometimes.
Yes, I am her favorite teacher and mentor, and then I get possessed. My body gets possessed by the handmaidens, by the devil's handmaiden, and I become Madam Satan, and I'm totes fab, hashtag totes fab, and she's, what else can I say about her? Oh yeah, she's basically like the worst best friend you could ever hope to have from hell, but you just can't help but love her.
You're also my favorite master on Doctor Who. I'm just gonna gotta give that shout out there.
Woo!
I'm Roberto.
Reason why, yeah.
I'm the voice of Salem, and Salem is Sabrina's loyal familiar. He's very talkative. He has a lot to say. He has an opinion about everything. He likes to get into it with Sabrina. He loves mice. No, I'm the showrunner and the creator. But I'm fans of everyone here, and Sabrina's always been kind of one of my favorite characters. And I thought it was just hilarious that there was a witch who used to go to Riverdale High and go to high school and cause trouble at high school. So it's been a long time dream to kind of bring this to life in a horror way, which is another one of my passions.
I love it.
My name's Charles Perdomo, and I'm playing Ambrose Spellman. Ambrose is the Victorian era. Well, he's the Alfred to Sabrina's Batman. He's a cousin, confidant. He's a bit of a puckish rogue, or quite a lot, so much so that he's under house arrest for the last 75 years. Whenever Sabrina gets in trouble, he's the man she goes to. But he's quite mysterious, and I'll leave it at that.
I love it.
I play Harvey Kinkle, who is Sabrina Spellman's notorious boyfriend, I guess you could say. Like throughout the history of Sabrina, he's always been there. So yeah, that's me.
Nice. Roberto, can you talk to me about how Riverdale opened the doors to Sabrina, but also making sure that you were going to take this back to the basics of what it was originally?
Yeah. I think Riverdale reminded everyone or showed people that, I mean, I always loved the Archie characters. They never fell out of favor for me. I always thought they were relevant. But I think it showed people that you could take a strong genre and put it on the Archie characters, who were archetypes that we all know, and because they were archetypes, they really they thrived when we put them in darker situations. They thrived when we put them in a murder mystery. It revealed the characters in a way they hadn't been seen before. So we sure enough started to, like everyone says, okay, well, what's next? And the most well-known character in the Archie comics was Sabrina,
Sure.
because of the TV show. It was a hit TV show for 8 or 9 years. And that's how most people know Sabrina is the comedy. But the earliest Sabrina comics that came out in the 60s were quite wicked. And Sabrina was vampy. And she was sent by this sort of dominatrix, which she said, okay, you've been assigned to Baxter High, you're going to go to Baxter High, and you're just going to cause trouble. And Sabrina would go to Baxter High, and she liked the kids at Baxter High, so she wouldn't cause trouble, and she'd come back and they'd say, you're a terrible witch, you didn't do anything bad today. So the idea of capturing a more wicked tone was something that appealed. And you know, horror's huge, and horror and
Especially now.
Yeah, and it felt like a natural kind of fit.
Now, you got to talk to me about the responsibility of playing Sabrina for a lot of kids, or I guess a lot of people my age out there. It's a pretty iconic role, and it was a part of that whole TGIF package that we got.
Yeah.
What did you learn from watching that kind of informed your performance on this show? Even though I know it's still a different show, but there's some elements carry over, like the comedy. Some of the comedy aspects are carrying over a little bit, right?
I've never seen the original
Really?
show before. Yeah, it was a little bit before my time, and
You're making me feel really old now.
No. I was just I'm just
Join
saying
the club.
just a little bit before my time, and and when I got this, I dove headfirst into the Chilling Adventures comics before I even auditioned to get sort of a sense of the tone of what this show was going to be, and the casting process happened quite quickly, and by the time I got it, I had about 3 months to prepare and sort of find the voice of the role by myself with a coach, working on the script probably about 3 or 4 times a week. And at that rate, I was so in it from that perspective that I didn't want to go to any other sort of source material, just because I felt like the world and the character of Sabrina that we are developing, as much as it is an archetype, it is its own character. She's her own girl.
And congratulations to everybody, because these were obviously all very highly coveted roles, and you know, people all around Hollywood want them. So congratulations to all you guys for that. Can you guys talk to me about being on Netflix? Because I've had a lot of people in here today that talk about how great Netflix is and how much freedom you kind of get with it. Can you guys talk to me about how the process is kind of working with Netflix? I mean, I don't know if you guys would see a difference as actors.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's lovely to be in something where you don't have to pander to your audience. You know, you don't have to patronize them. You know, they're going to catch up and keep up, really, is what we expect of them. And I think that now we have such a sophisticated audience out there, it's hard to kind of, you know, sugarcoat things. And we're making horror, you know, you can't sugarcoat that, you know, and actually the big surprise to all of us when we first saw the screening was how terrifying it is in places, in many places, and Netflix, I think, really gives us a platform where we don't have to compromise, right? We get to make the show that we want to make, and audiences want that. I mean, there's clearly an appetite for it. You know, let's not put things through a rose-tinted filter. Let's not, you know, solve all the problems and you know, put it in its little box. And it's every character is flawed and three-dimensional and extremely well drawn. And so you're in a very rich, diverse, incredible world that's full of fantasy, horror, and strangely, hope. I mean, to make horror hopeful is kind of what it feels like we've done here. So it's yeah, I think that's what Netflix has given us, the chance to find a new voice in a new world.
And each episode feels like a movie. I mean, it really does.
It has
each
more of a
episode
cinematic tone to it.
has a very cinematic tone, and is, you know, each episode is upwards of an hour, which
Right.
is amazing too, to kind of have that sort of time and that freedom and that luxury to sort of take risks and play around and just have fun.
We don't have to play that to that structure of playing to the ad breaks too, which is so nice. Like I just find that so debilitating on other shows where you can tell everything's like going in these humps to the ads, and then watching shows when there's ads, it's so tedious.
That's a great point, actually, which a lot of people kind of overlook as a consumer. That they're not. Yeah, they're not.
Dramatically, you can just run straight through it. You can tell your story as you want to tell it. You're not having to observe these kind of false stops.
Absolutely. Now, I'm sure that you guys are pretty familiar with all of your cast members' characters. So let's play a fun little game. If you weren't the character that you got cast as, who would you be based on your personality?
Salem the cat.
There you go.
Then I wouldn't have to say anything. I wouldn't have to learn any lines. Just show up.
Based on our character, based on my character as Lucy, who would I think I am most like, or who would I
Personality-wise.
like to play?
Now, who would you think you're most like?
Hilda, honestly, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I really, I'm almost embarrassed by it. I am so Hilda. I think Madam Satan would be a great fun role to play.
Madam
Yeah.
Satan has been a stretch for me. To be honest,
She says that. She says that.
that's been a real challenge. No, listen, come on. You know, we've all been cast for a reason. You know, because we comfortably sit in those places, and you know, and we're not ashamed of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Although we should.
No,
be,
the
just a
question
little
is, who do you want a Freaky Friday
Who do
switch
you want
with?
Freaky Friday. Maybe I should have said, who do you want a Freaky Friday?
Yeah, I thought that would be good. I think I said it, Roberto, one day that Hilda and Zelda should wake up and be in each other's bodies. Yeah.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
I want to be Nicholas Scratch.
Feel free to
I want to be Nicholas Scratch. for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Everyone should swap.
We just confirmed a spoiler for season 2 now, right? Roberto, I have to ask, and I'm sure this is a question you get asked a ton of times. The crossover with Riverdale is inevitable, I'm assuming. Are we going to see that? I haven't seen it, so are we going to see that anywhere in the near future?
Listen, I grew up reading comic books, and I loved when there were crossovers. I'm a big fan of them. You know, it's always a question of finding the right story and making sure that you don't puncture the tone of every other show, of each show. And, you know, on Riverdale, they're like, well, we can't cross over because we don't have supernatural stuff on Riverdale, and that's true. But I always say, like, the Riverdale kids on a dare could, like, break into the haunted house in Greendale, and it's, you know, the Spellman house on Halloween. It's about finding the right story in the right time. I think right now the big priority is launching Sabrina as its own thing, and making sure that Riverdale is as a gonzo as it's ever been. But yeah, as a fan, and that's what I am when it comes to these two shows. Really, I'm a fan of these characters. I'd love there to be a crossover.
Now, the horror genre in general is kind of usually a cautionary tale about where we are and a message to society. What do you want people to take away from Sabrina? Because I feel like there's so much, especially with an hour-long format and I guess, serialized storytelling. What would you guys want fans to take away?
I just think because of the bravery and the courage that this character shows, it's like be who you want to be, regardless of whatever. There's a wonderful saying, whatever you think of me is none of my business. And that's how I would sum up Sabrina. She is fearless and brave and just, you know, is an inspiration to young women out there. I think if there was a magic power that any one of us could have, if I had one, it would be to suck the fear out of people, because I feel like we're gripped in fear right now, and I think that's really this what we're creating is relevant to that. You know, take us to the fantasy and walk past your fears.
I love that answer. If you guys had to sum up, each one of you had to sum up Sabrina, the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, in a hashtag, what would that hashtag be? Without giving any like spoilers away.
Our actual hashtag is hashtag CAOS, which is chaos, and I actually think that's quite quite good. Yeah.
Oh my God! I just got. Oh my God!
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't
Roberto's
know.
realizing things.
I am. I learn things every
love
day.
it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That was good.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Wait, did you know that?
First.
You didn't know that?
We all do this.
We do it every day.
I know, but I don't. Okay. Okay.
It's chaos,
Hey,
man.
he's so involved in running the show.
I know.
He's
I mean,
single
let's
focused.
not- yeah.
Not seeing the forest for the trees.
Well, guys, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank
You
you.
guys are wonderful. And enjoy your panel, the Netflix and Chill panel,
Yeah.
later on tonight.
We'll do.
And hashtag CAOS.
Hashtag chaos, man.